our next speaker would be able to give us some of the solutions and some of the new measures that can help ease or alleviate these concerns.
That's a good idea. That's actually a good entry point for our second speaker. For our next speaker, it is my pleasure to introduce the CEO of the leading and fast-growing e-commerce platform in Southeast Asia, LAZADA, Carlos Barrera.
Yes.
Yes, sir, the stage is all yours.
I'm so happy to see all of you here, and this is a topic that's very, very close to our heart. We've been spending quite a lot of time. I've been here for 10 years, and LAZADA has been here for 12 years. And when we talk always about tech and tech trends and the market, the reality is that we try to always focus much more on consumers' experience, and tech for us is almost like a commodity. It's just a way to get this to happen, right? The reality is that the tech industry in the Philippines is very, very nascent, and especially when it comes to the integration of tech, fintech, and logistics. But we're very excited to have been part of this from, I would say, almost the very beginning, and we're really excited about what's going to be happening in the next few years. So I don't want to bore you with a lot of the details or facts. I'm hoping to make this a lot more real and experiential, sharing why do we use tech to make Filipino lives better, and why tech is just an enabler to deliver the best possible experience and to maximize the value for every single MSME in the country and make everyone's life easier, right? So LAZADA started with one thing in mind, and that was the one thing that we always use as our North Star. And we've been evolving, but we never really lost sight of that, which is convenience. Ultimately, the one thing that tech brings to the country is the possibility of doing things in a much better, faster, and cheaper way. So our commitment, and the main reason why we have been investing billions of dollars in the Philippines over the years, is to use tech to make everyone's life easier and to drive that type of convenience. Convenience means faster delivery. So we had to come up with the right tech solutions to drive faster delivery in the Philippines. Faster delivery is just extremely difficult when you look at a setup where people still use cash. The postal system and the delivery addresses are very, very challenging. And we had to adjust our app and the way we work and develop solutions just to make these deliveries much faster, right? At the same time, when you talk about tech, it's also about digitizing the entire country. I remember when I first came here, 2013, people were literally laughing at me for talking about these things. We were telling them how every single sari-sari store in the country will go online, how small business owners will be able to upload the entire catalog and all their products quickly just using their phone, and people were laughing. They thought that was impossible. There were all these concerns about how it was difficult for them to have the right connectivity, how it was challenging to get people to adopt and to use. And I really feel that one of the biggest barriers is that people don't realize how competent Filipinos are with tech. We always think about tech as this super complicated thing that people need to go to university for, and they love to talk about these developers with that dark stream, and like they look like hackers and very complicated. But the reality is that Filipinos are great at tech, and they're very, very good because they understand how tech looks like. There has been a massive change and switch in perception over the last few years because Filipinos are huge consumers of social media. They're great consumers of online products, and they actually know how a good product looks like. So what we have seen is that over the past few years, tech has slowly been becoming a great equalizer where people can pass and change from being users and consumers of tech to creators and business owners thanks to tech. So over the past few years, what we have seen is that more than 500,000 Filipinos have become small business owners thanks to online businesses and thanks to LAZADA, because they can create their shop within 30 seconds just quickly taking pictures, and they have already experienced e-commerce, they have already experienced digitalization, so it's just very natural for them to run their business online. And that is the beauty of tech. When we talk about driving financial inclusion, driving financial progress, the reality is that the first step is empowering people to really remove the gatekeeper and quickly go direct to consumer. With LAZADA, we have removed every single possible thing that we could so that people can easily create their own store within the first 30 seconds and start selling nationwide. This is very complicated from a back-end perspective, from a tech perspective, but our North Star is convenience. So we keep removing layers and layers and trying to make it simple for everybody to run their storefront, right? One of the critical steps to drive tech adoption in the Philippines is making sure that everybody can quickly access apps and utilize their phones. We've seen a massive boom in accessibility and affordability. Even for us at LAZADA, we sell millions of phones every single year, and we see how everybody is so aware of the ecosystem today. They use different apps, and the ecosystem has been uplifted, right? At LAZADA, we've been very committed to partnering up. So we're very proud to be part of this community. And we think that one of the best things that are lifting the economy forward is that there's a lot of traction happening across neobanks, across wallets, across the entire spectrum of tech logistics. So I remember the first time we had these e-commerce and tech meetings 10 years ago, we were like 3 people in the room trying to figure out what we wanted to build. Today, every time I go into these meetings, there are more than 5 large associations for e-commerce, for fintech. Every time we go into these meetings, we see hundreds of companies that are very well funded. Today, there's a lot of investment coming into the country, a lot of tech investors, and a lot of different verticals, right? We faced numerous challenges over the past few years. One of the biggest challenges has been cash on delivery. And that's where, together with a lot of the wallets, we have strong partnerships with GCash, with Maya, and we also have our own wallet. We have been able to invest to take Filipinos from a cash-based economy to a cashless economy. So we have been able to reduce the importance of cash on delivery and to move and migrate most customers into the fintech world and the wallet world. Majority of our transactions today are actually using some form of electronic payment. And what we see is that as we evolve, new verticals like Pay Later, we launched our last Pay Later where people can easily borrow and access credit, or financing solutions for merchants are really propelling the economy forward. Fintech is one of the great equalizers because it allows everybody to borrow at a much, much easier, faster pace and lower rate, in general, without warranties and collaterals. So the way we think about Pay Later, we have a very accurate risk engine. We were talking earlier about data, inclusivity, and how data powers a lot of these things. The reality is that because we know people's customer experience, people's behavior, and past purchases, we're able to underwrite loans that no bank will be able to underwrite because it will be very complicated and they will be asking for warranties. We're willing to do this as a value-add investment in the platform to get everybody to afford things that they cannot afford today. So we're seeing very strong momentum around financing, especially for appliances, for phones, for laptops. People use financing as a way to access these things that they will normally not be able to access. And the one thing that I'm personally the most excited about is the seller financing opportunity. I was mentioning earlier how there are more than 500,000 online businesses in the country. But the challenges that they're facing is that they cannot easily access financing. For them to become more professional, to become real businesses at scale, they need to be able to raise money and to finance their business. So we will be unveiling in the next few months a new set of solutions that will allow people to borrow through working capital loans in a very, very easy manner. We believe in a world where there are no gatekeepers. As a platform, we don't own our business. We're in the business of building businesses, right? So we're just hoping to connect these businesses with users. And ultimately, the one thing that we can do for all of them is to remove the friction and to enable them to grow their business. So we know the sales of a lot of these sellers, and we're constantly growing. The funniest thing is that even if e-commerce thing in the Philippines today, the e-commerce volume in the Philippines is more than $15 billion, it's the industry that's still growing at 30–40%. So all our sellers feel that they're playing catch up. Imagine a moment like today where everybody's stocking up for Christmas and they need to buy 2 or 3 months of goods ahead. They just cannot do this. And that's one of the things that we want to do for them, because we'll be able to give them the financing ahead, maybe 2–3 months working capital, so they can really boost their business and improve their margins, right? So our commitment to convenience also means utilizing tech to adjust our experience end to end. I'm proud to share that for all our riders, our thousands of riders with LAZADA Logistics, LAZADA Express, and all the riders that are working with us for our third-party logistics, we work with more than 10 logistics partners. All of them have their own app, are constantly maximizing their deliveries and their efficiency, and are completely digitalized, being able to remove a lot of the roadblocks and to mitigate the impact of the failed deliveries. When I first came here, we had a very, very high failed delivery rate because it was almost impossible to deliver in certain areas. The addresses that people give when they upload their LAZADA address delivery are things like second corner after the basketball court when you see the orange house to the left. This is how we've had to map. But today, thanks to our integrated logistics solutions, we have the exact address of every single user, and we can geotag the addresses of these users and have smart routing, so every rider can very, very quickly go to the right route and deliver much faster. This means much higher productivity for everybody and much, much lower failed delivery. And this is one of the most frustrating things that can happen online, but today has really been mitigated, right? Now, as we continue to invest and we want to amplify our presence in the Philippines, the next frontier is getting closer to the customer. So we have launched our priority delivery in Greater Metro Manila and Luzon. Today we're delivering within 48 hours in Metro Manila to make it much, much easier for people. Sometimes we don't even want them to think. We just want them to know that it's easier for them to buy online and to buy from LAZADA than having to go somewhere else. But the next big frontier is investing nationwide to develop hundreds of hubs in the provinces so we can deliver faster and get much closer to the sellers and to the customers. This is our commitment, and we have been developing large infrastructures like sorting centers. We have one of the largest warehouses in the Philippines in Laguna with more than 80,000 square meters. It's what we call a 5-star warehouse where we can fulfill any type of item from Nike to the smaller sellers. And we offer this service to everybody in the Philippines because we believe that what's relevant is offering this so that people don't have to develop their own solutions. In an ideal world, we think that sellers should focus on running their business, having the best products, running their stores, and they should leave anything else, warehousing, inventory, planning, to LAZADA, so we can give them that type of tailor-made solution where they don't have to worry about anything, right? And on top of that, we have been developing a lot of sorting solutions so that we can shorten the time that it takes from seller to customer. And we're very, very excited about this, right? But I want to talk a bit more about the experience, right? So convenience is always one of our North Stars, but we're also working on improving the experience end to end and doing things that nobody else has done in the Philippines. So our positioning has always been slightly aspirational. We want people to enjoy buying at LAZADA and to feel proud of buying at LAZADA. So convenience also means trust and knowing that you will be made whole when you buy with us. So we rolled out a lot of new solutions like money back guarantee. Whenever you have an issue with LAZADA, thanks to the new journey and the app, the moment that you receive your item, you can just click that the item was not received as expected and you will be refunded. And then we will investigate and figure out what happened. And it also means that we have the best returns and refund experience, where we are constantly evaluating what happened and refunding buyers proactively to make sure that they don't have to worry and passing the problem to the platform where we investigate with our buyers, right? Now, I'm very excited about the next big trends, right? So when you look at the e-commerce situation in the Philippines today, we have grown very fast, but there are still certain areas that haven't been very, very digitalized. So today, the main industries where e-commerce has made a huge dent are electronics or fashion. But the next big frontier is FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods. So we have launched our own online supermarket last March, where we have more than 10,000 items that people can buy online. And we're very excited about the opportunity to digitalize the grocery space. And we're working very closely with all the largest pharmaceutical companies in the Philippines to launch Last Pharma. Today we're selling a lot of OTC medicines and a lot of different products, and we'll continue to evolve to really cover and get all the pharma closer to Filipinos in a much faster and convenient way, right? Now, for us, the only way to achieve all these things is by developing the right safety and security solutions. I really enjoyed the panel earlier because you can see how crime is always very, very hard to catch and to detect. And oftentimes what we see is that fraud in the Philippines is on the rise because the organizations are getting very, very advanced, and we need to take a step forward to be more proactive. So we have been leveraging the best technology from Alibaba to have instant and automated detection. Every single day, we deactivate tens of thousands of items, and we have AI screeners constantly browsing for all types of things. Products that may not have the best FDA license. We're looking for products that may not be compliant. We're screening for any item that may be not meeting the IP or like all the brand trademark laws, and constantly deactivating. We have blocked entire categories where nobody can upload without the approval of LAZADA, the likes of vapes or the likes of products regulated by FDA. And then we're constantly screening and proactively removing tens of thousands of items every day and coordinating with the authorities to really go and target these networks to make sure that we do our part and we keep the platform safe. Now, this is very, very challenging because we have very tight policies, and these policies are not necessarily used by other players in the industry or by social media companies. But we take it as a commitment to keep the platform safe, and we want to always be the more compliant, the more proactive, and position ourselves as the company where everybody can trust, where everybody knows that we're going to do the right thing and that we can be reliable and of service. So this is very, very close to our heart. And we're constantly working proactively to target any illegal activities. We have signed MOU with different stakeholders on the property side, on the trademark side, and IPOL, and we will continue to work to showcase our efforts in preventing any challenges and cooperating with all the local stakeholders, right? So we will continue to play our role and to develop the industry to make sure that as e-commerce continues to grow 30 or 40%, we have the safest online space and we own the best possible experience for every Filipino.